So here's the entire plot. The very, very wealthy white men read the financiers, the tech bros, and the business men, the white ones, all of them. Their plan is to be in charge of the entire world and to have all other people at their service. As ridiculous as that sounds, that's it. What they want are two classes. Forget democracy, it isn't working for them. Two classes of people. Them, the very white, wealthy ones, call them the Epstein class, if you will, touched by God to be the chosen ones. And then there's the workers. Them and the workers. No middle class, no upper class, no lower middle class. There's only the serfs and the kings, the serfs and the lords. And that's their plan. How do they get to that plan? It's simple. It's a bunch of steps, and they're doing them right now, all at once. And it goes like this. Oh, wait. Aside from the serfs, the men, to serve them, they want the women to service them. All women, no matter what age. Here are the steps that are already in play. One, lower wage, get rid of useless people. Get rid of useless people. Who are the useless people to them? They are the old, the disabled, the sick, the cut all aid, for instance, to children with disabilities, cut all aid to seniors, cut all aid, and cut all aids to groups that aren't going to serve you, like LGBTQ. So cut all services. Cut, as far as you can, all nonprofits that serve these groups. Attack those nonprofits. Get rid of every institution that might protect all of these classes of people who do not serve these rich people. So get rid of the press, get rid of Congress, get rid of the courts, get rid of advocacy group, get rid of nonprofits. All of those are underway. 3, get women reproducing, because there's going to be a shortage of those white men serving them and black men serving them. There's going to be a shortage of them. So there's a shortage worldwide of new babies, by the way, if you didn't know. So you got to get women reproducing. So first, of course, no abortion. Second, no birth control. 3, get them out of the workplace. Get them out of graduate schools. Get them into the house reproducing. That's the role for women in this society. Reproduce. Next, destroy public education. They're well on their way to destroying public education by ignoring, for instance, the difference between church and state, so that private institutions that serve the children of wealthy people are benefiting, and the attacks on public education have been relentless and quite successful. And finally, lower wages for everyone and raise taxes for everyone but themselves. For themselves, it's higher rewards and lower taxes. That's it. It's a many-portion review of many portions, steps, all of which are happening in real time. The goal, 2 classes. Very, 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 very wealthy, very, 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 very poor. Trump, he's just the clown in charge that can rile up the troops. He's the idiot in charge.
All right. Call hello Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim Yahweh Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for pushing 100% truth through rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. This is Matazalakam and Matazalakam, right? And I was just going to go off into this word. Gradualism is what these devils are doing, and they're running out of time. So they can't use gradualism as much. They have to skip steps and they're making it quite obvious, backing up what the woman was saying. They have to do this thing. They don't have a choice. Okay. Gradualism is the policy, theory, or principle of achieving a desired outcome through slow, incremental steps rather than by sudden, drastic, or revolutionary changes. And they're doing it through sudden, drastic, and revolutionary changes. They're going to use the birthday or death day or whatever, however you want to pronounce that or accept that, of America, Babylon the Great, 250th anniversary of oppression. Okay, and they want to use that, okay, as the diving board or the premise, the springboard, so to speak, of pushing the digital ID, crashing the U.S. petrodollar, because nobody in the world is using the petrodollar except the individuals here in America. That's it. The only people that give any credence or of any worth is here in America. Once the U.S. petrodollar crashes, the underlying currency, which is the U.S. petrodollar of all of the other nations under the British Commonwealth, aka democracy ran by these Edomite Caucasian devils at the top, the elite, World Economic Forum, World Health Organization, Bilderberger Group, the Trilateral Commission, the Club of Rome, all of these different individuals that are at the top that she was referring to, the elites, okay, those individuals, okay, that gives them the opportunity to do whatever they think is necessary, okay, in order to push this thing, okay, gives them, because they're running out of time, like it says in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5, okay, let me see, hold on, okay, politics and society. In political and social context, gradualism is the strategy of advancing towards a specific policy, reform, or social change via small, steady steps. This method aims to avoid the chaos or disruption often associated with radical political shifts or revolutions, allowing society and institutions time to adjust to new norms. Okay? Now, they're not going to have time to adjust to a new norm of gradualism. They're running out of time, man. There's no fucking way. They can't do it. Okay? I got a couple more videos I want to go into right quick. Let's see if I can get back here to, boom. If I can get back to, god damn it, I can't get back to it. Salakia. Do this. All right, where was I at? Where's that video? Right here, boom.
They need digital ID, because when you suddenly have to control a huge population, a continental population, an international population, you can't just have lots of people, administrators keeping record. No. You're going to need a supercomputer, a network that keeps everything in check. Now it starts off, doesn't it, as the ID card, which we're told, nothing to fear here. This is so because, we don't know who's in the country anymore. You are who you say you are. And of course, now we're going to have all these digital ways of doing our tax returns, which will link to our banking app. And I can guarantee you, soon enough, that's going to link back to the digital ID card, because that'll be linked to your national insurance number. We've also got now an NHS.
What the fuck is a national insurance number? Is that the 3-digit barcode system that's set up for the digital ID, okay, in the cloud of 606 per individual? Is that it? Because the introduction of 6G into society is the basis of the Hanta virus. Okay, and Hanta, the word Hanta means a lie or falsification of the truth. I'll go get that definition in just a minute, just to show you what I mean.
And they exercised that really nicely with the vaccine passports, didn't they? Now, what they're soon going to do, of course, is the NHS app is going to link back to your accountancy app. So when you have days off sick, it automatically registers. Then the government are going to come up with something to help control obesity, aren't they? Use this app to monitor the calories you're having and what food you're buying. So that's going to have to link to the NHS app, which is going to have to link to your accountancy app, which will link to your banking app. You can see where I'm going here. Soon enough, it's just going to be, why have multiple apps when you could have one big beastly apt to do the lot of it. And when we end up in that situation, it's going to be incredibly hard to get out of it.
Okay. Now, one huge beastly app, right? Let's go get the one huge beastly app, shall we? These motherfuckers are accents, boy. Come on, man. God damn it. Wow, man. Just do whatever the fuck it want to do. Ecclesiasticus. Oh my God, man. Come on. Ecclesiasticus chapter 27, verse 1. Many have sinned for a small matter, and he that seeketh for abundance will turn his eyes away. And that's exactly through gradualism. The elites at the top that I mentioned earlier in the video are doing. They're turning their eyes and their backs on the people that make, they're the cogs that make the engine run. Okay? And they're doing this shit deliberately and on purpose. Okay? They want the rich and they want the poor. Fuck the middle class. Okay? You got a job, you ain't gonna have it much longer. This is what they want, man. They want to lay off everybody they can and force the individuals that they have no choice right now, okay, to take the central bank digital currency, digital ID. People are going to be working for free because everybody's got back taxes. Everybody's got, car payments behind on everything, threatened to get put out in the fucking street. And all of that's going to come out of your check digitally, which means total control, right? Verse 2, as a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stones, so doth sin stick close between buying and selling. Okay? You see what I mean? So, it will be a sin to buy and sell. You see what I mean? Hold on, let me see if I can get back to the Bible app, man. The fucking Bible app, it just does whatever it wants to do, man. And, okay, Isaiah chapter 36, verse 6. Lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed, right? And the broken reed is the broken financial system. Okay, that's the reason why they're getting rid of the U.S. petrodollar. That would be in reference to the reed that's broken, right? On Egypt, right? Spiritual Sodom and Egypt, which is America, Babylon the Great, right? Whereon if a man lean, or in other words, if you depend upon it for survival, for paying your bills, for whatever have you, it will go into your hand and pierce it, right? Okay, because shit, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, right? And like the woman said at the beginning of the video, oh my God, Salakia for that rude interruption. Anyway, as I was saying, Isaiah chapter 36, verse 6, lo, thou trustest in the staff of this broken reed, right, which is the broken financial system, as I said before, on Egypt, whereon if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him, right? So, now, as I said earlier, the woman stated that the president of the divided states of Babylon, okay, Babylon, America, Merathaim, the land of double rebellion, the land of bitterness, where there is no light in it, as it is written in Job chapter 10, verse 20 through 22, right? Okay. Pharaoh is a puppet, the idiot in charge. Okay? Everything went straight downhill on a 45-degree angle, and that 45-degree angle was covered in axle grease, which is one of the slipperiest substances on the face of the earth, on roller skates with no handhold in sight. At a 45-degree angle, ain't nothing going to stop you from hitting the fucking bottom, if there is one, okay? All right? And so you need to understand, this was all set up. They put Donald Trump in charge because this motherfucker, let me ask you something, okay? You see if you have any common sense at all, okay? I mean, I'm not trying to insult you. I'm just trying to get you to understand something, okay? How can you make not one, not two, but 3 casinos go bankrupt? How the fuck do you bankrupt a casino? It's a casino! What the fuck is supposed to make its own money? You just sit back and watch the money roll in. Everything is set up for the house to win. How the fuck do you produce the idiocy, the illogic in your brain to bankrupt a casino? Okay, so if you can bankrupt a goddamn casino, you sure as hell can bankrupt America. And that's exactly what's going on. Okay, and they're promising this asshole all kinds of billions and trillions of dollars. All he's got to do is set up different institutions in order for the money to be shoved into, in order to wash it and then send it over digitally to Qatar in their supercomputer banking system that they have underneath the ground, being cooled by the sea, the Red Sea, the Caspian Sea. Okay, whatever sea is over there. It's being cooled, super cooled by that water in that area in order to keep track of all of the financial transactions. So they're switching all of their financial transactions from Davos, Switzerland at the Bank of International Settlements, and they're probably going to move the Bank of International Settlements to the so-called Middle East, which is actually Western Asia. Okay? So, like I said before, this is what they're trying to do. If you trust in Egypt, it will go into your hand and pierce it by the idiot in charge. Okay? that's the simplest way to put it, okay? Let's go over here to Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 5. Okay, let's start at verse 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, and it is currently tarrying, but not so much anymore, because now they're putting out in the mainstream media. Because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Okay? Let's go over here to, what was that? I got another video, if I can get to it. Where is it at? Okay. Okay. Let's go over here to the other video that I had. Okay. Talking about King Charles, right? So
this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to grab a true 16 terabyte ultra-large capacity, 1,000 megabyte.
Well, the United Kingdom's total clampdown on freedoms is almost complete with the rollout of the digital ID. Something very important just happened in the UK, and of course it barely got any attention in the mainstream media, totally ignored. Of course, if you go to any of the major newspapers, the BBC, MSNBC, CNN, anywhere, you're not going to see it. During the King's speech, King Charles read out the government's new legislative agenda, which included this digital ID nugget. Listen.
My ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID that will modernize how citizens interact with public services.
Okay, so in order to interact with public services, you need a digital ID. I guess your public services are unavailable to you if you don't take this digital ID. Interesting. So they're moving forward with this digital access to services bill, creating the legal framework for this digital ID. UK officials presenting it as voluntary, of course, convenient and secure. It's all about your safety. But critics, of course, warn that this architecture is a piece of a much larger control system. Joining us now is Jim Ferguson. He's been warning about exactly this: digital ID, state surveillance, and what happens when governments begin tying basic public services to centralized digital identity. He's an independent commentator, founder of Freedom Train International. Jim, always great to see you here. Thank you so much for joining us. Your response to the King's message, I mean, hearing this come out of the King's mouth, it really struck a nerve.
Yeah, it did as well. Wonderful to be on with you guys again. But yeah, this is something that has certainly caught a lot of people's attention. I reported on this earlier on today, and it's started to go viral. So this is where the King has said that he is expecting his ministers, his government, to introduce and push forward with the digital ID. So the question is not if digital ID is coming, it certainly is. The real question is, how far is it going to go?
That is the big question. How far will this go? And you have petitions signed by millions of people across the UK, the Do Not Introduce Digital ID cards. This was even closed on January 9th. Take a look at your screen here. We demand that the UK government immediately commits to not introducing a digital ID card. And millions of people signed this, but they're not listening to those people at all. What were their concerns?
Well, their concerns are about intrusion, a loss of privacy, a loss of autonomy, because this is going to affect taxation, it's going to affect medical records, it's going to affect everyday life. As soon as they get this through, everything changes. And of course, let's not forget about CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, which are going to be a close second coming in after the digital ID legislation gets through. But right now, the UK government is in absolute free fall. We are witnessing a prime minister who is effectively shutting himself away in number 10, won't talk to anyone because the knives are out by members of his own party. We've seen 4 cabinet ministers resign, and he is now looking very much like a dead man walking. But the biggest problem, Clayton, is that whoever takes up the reins from him is going to be just as bad, if not worse. So digital ID is coming. People need to be prepared for that. They need to understand exactly what that means. But it's major loss of privacy, and it gives the unaccounted bureaucrats and the elites absolute control and power over everyday citizens. And that's far too much power to be handed over lightly. So I think there's a lot of concerns sparked by the King's address today.
There are people with power, people like yourself, who have been outspoken against this. People like Nigel Farage, the leader of the Reform UK. He came out today and delivered this message saying, absolutely, we do not support this. Take a listen.
So the Prime Minister says we must have digital ID. That's the way we'll stop illegal immigration. Well, think about it. Germany has ID cards, strict ID and checks. It's made no difference at all in Germany, and nor will it here. All that digital ID will be is a means of controlling the population, of telling us what we can and can't do, of fining the innocent. And didn't we see it all when we had the pandemic, when you had to have vaccine ID to travel, to do various things? Did that stop the COVID pandemic spreading? Did it help? All it did was put cost and inconvenience on everybody else. I also worry about massive data banks being held by the government, being hacked by foreign governments, by private companies, by criminals. I do not see a single benefit to the government having digital ID other than them controlling what we do, what we spend, and where we go. And we, in Reform, are wholly opposed to it in every single way.
Okay. Hold on. Now remember the one Edomite, the Shedemite that was talking earlier. She said something in reference to all-in-one beastly app, right? Remember the beastly app? So we're going to continue and see what else he says.
Anything you disagree with there, Jim, or 100%?
Absolutely. I'm 100% agreement in what he's saying in regards to digital ID. And of course, I think that, as I said to you, the government is in free fall. It's an absolute chaos here in the United Kingdom. And Starmer's reluctance to assist our American friends has not been forgotten. And I think also that a change of government is most likely to come. Starmer is in all sorts of trouble. His back is definitely against the wall. But whoever comes in, and there is an anticipated further resignation that may happen tomorrow. I think it would have happened today, and that's Wes Streeton, who is rumoured to be talking about resigning tomorrow. He didn't want to do it during the King's speech, but it is quite possible, and it's very much anticipated that he may actually resign as well. So that would be 5 cabinet ministers. I mean, they're dropping like flies, Clayton. And if this continues, I think that the men in grey suits will be paying a visit to Keir Starmer before too long. And, you know, Britain needs a change of government. Absolutely it does. And I'm very pleased to see that Nigel did say that, you know, he was absolutely no benefit from digital ID. Advanced UK, other political parties are taking a very similar stance, I will say.
If you are committed to feeling great this spring,
these technocrats. You've got, Elon Musk on there. You've got the head of BlackRock, Blackstone, all of these guys who want this type of control. In Washington, we sort of joke that Washington, D.C. is completely run by the Peter Thiel, Palantir-like, the lot that control pretty much everything in Washington, D.C. Is it the same, would you say, in the UK? And if so, how does the average Briton fight back?
Well, I think one of the things that we've always said on Freedom Train International is don't be scared, be prepared, anticipate what is coming. Start to think like the globalists think. You need to almost be a pathological psychopath in order to sort of second guess what they're about to do. But I mean, it's all about control. Right. And Nigel Farage was right in what he was saying there. It's all about controlling people. They're obsessed by it. But you raised a very interesting point there, Clayton, when you talked about them going to China. China's model, especially when it comes to the credit score system, where people, if they speak against the state, they jaywalk, they do something kind of random, the state doesn't like it. All of a sudden, their credit score falls. And everybody pretty much in China, maybe not so much in the rural areas, but a lot of people in China have to have these apps to open the doors to their apartments, to go through the gated communities. Well, that's the World Economic Forum's dream. Klaus Schwab loves that model. A lot of the elites do, because they are quite envious of that level of control of ordinary people and the ability to sanction people that speak out against the system. So ordinary Britons need to understand this is very real. When King Charles is giving that in his address, then it's definitely coming. It's definitely on the cards. People need to be ready for it. They need to be diversifying into other things. I've always encouraged people to grow your own food. Grow your own food, have some gold and silver, have something that exists outside the system. But before too long, we're going to see CBDCs coming hot on the heels of digital ID. And this is something that will pair the two together to give the state apparatus, the globalist minds, absolute control over the population. And I think one of the most important things for people in the United Kingdom is to change the government, get rid of these globalists and make sure a government that's for the people and is run by the people effectively is elected, because otherwise we're going to see more of these globalist policies being rammed through. And of course, the king seems to be quite happy about all of that. And, he did some good stuff in the United States of America. I was very pleased to see him there patching up relations with President Trump after the abysmal carrying on with Keir Starmer and the Diego Garcia bases and Straits of Hormuz. So that was good. But I don't like to see him saying that digital ID is coming. He's definitely not right about that.
Well, maybe you could educate, before we let you go, you could educate our audience a little bit, because he, on his history here, I mean, he's a World Economic Forum member. I mean, friends with Klaus Schwab. So before he became king and ascended to the throne, he was openly talking about these things that were featured, I think, even on the World Economic Forum's website.
Absolutely right. I mean, if you go back and do any kind of research on Google or any other search engine for that matter, you will see, even as a young man in his 20s and 30s, that a lot of the pictures saw Klaus Schwab in the background. So there's been a long association, a very close association with King Charles and Klaus Schwab. And Klaus Schwab...
Let's go find about, Salakia, let me go and see what I can do about finding that information that they just mentioned. Okay, let's find, let's see. Okay, Klaus Schwab, Henry Kissinger, and Prince Charles. Image. Portrait. That's good. Okay. Where is it then? See, god damn it. I can't wait for shit. Wow, man. Goddamn Satan's a motherfucker, ain't he? Hold on. Let's see if I can go to images. Is there images? Oh, come on, man. Really? God damn. Anything to stop that video, huh? Wow. Okay. Okay. Klaus Schwab. Come on. Klaus Schwab. Henry Kissinger. And Prince Charles of England. Portrait. Image. Boom. Okay, see, historic picture gallery, right? Clown Swab, right? Hold on. Clown Swab. Okay, let me see, where is he at? Right here, boom. All right, let's blow it up. Okay, trying to get, okay, see, Henry Kissinger, Prince Charles, and Clown Swab back in the 70s. This is when Clown Slob, which was the protege of Henry Kissinger is the guy to the left, the first Jewish, what do you call it, Secretary of State of the United States. Okay, Clown Swab was his protege when he was young. Okay, Henry Kissinger helped Clown Swab found the World Economic Forum. That's the picture I was talking about. Okay, so this is how close these motherfuckers are. So when we go back to the video, now you understand that this was always the plan. Oh man, come on, man. Every time, I gotta fix that. Okay, so let's go back to it. If I can, it'll let me keep my place. I doubt it.
If your husband's belly looks like this or like this, he is not fat. He is infested.
Association, a very close association with King Charles and Klaus Schwab. And Klaus Schwab is still there. He's still controlling a lot of things to do with the World Economic Forum. And it's deeply concerning that the King of the United Kingdom would be having such a close relationship with somebody that believes in doing away with elections and doing away with democracy and putting implants and all sorts of crazy stuff into people's food supply. Somebody that believes in doing away with elections and doing away with democracy and putting implants and all sorts of crazy stuff into people's food supplies. I don't want somebody that believes in doing away with elections and doing away with democracy and putting implants and all sorts of crazy stuff into people's food supplies. Somebody that believes in doing away with elections and doing away with democracy and putting implants and all sorts of crazy stuff into people's food supplies. I don't want to eat bugs any more than you do, Clayton.
Okay, now you heard 3-4 different times that in your food supply, they want to put implants. Okay, let me see if I can find that video. Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Just type it in, digital implants in pills and medicines to track the body. Hold on. Oral medicine and medically complex patients. Whose? Boom. What's that? Hold on.
This pill doesn't cure you, it spies on you. Scientists have created an ingestible sensor pill that travels through your body, tracking your heart rate, gut health, even your breathing from the inside. It sends real-time health data to your phone, helping doctors detect problems before symptoms appear. But here's the twist. Some versions are being developed to transmit data to third-party companies. You thought it was for your health, but it might be watching for them. This pill doesn't cure you, it spies on you. Scientists have created an ingestible sensor pill that travels through your body, tracking your heart rate, gut health, even your breathing from the inside. It sends real-time health data to your phone, helping doctors detect problems before symptoms appear. But here's the twist. Some versions are being developed to transmit data to third-party companies. You thought it was for your health, but it might be watching for them.
Okay. All right. So they got information on everything because they're coming out of their fucking mouth. These goddamn Edomite Caucasian devils, man. These devils, this is what they want, man. They want total technocracy, total control over your entire life. They don't give a shit. Okay, let me see if I can go and find Aaron Russo interview with what's his name? God damn it. I forgot his name. Come on. Oh, come on, man. Really? Did they, I think they scrubbed it. Wow. Okay. Let's do this. Aaron Russo. Oh man, come on, man. God damn. Aaron Russo. Documenting American Freedom. Okay. Alex Jones interview with Aaron Russo.
And everybody says it's a capitalistic country. It's not a capitalistic country. You know, nobody knows how Building 7 came down. Okay, we know 9/11. Deal with me in Hollywood a lot because of what I do and the things I say. You know, I don't go along with routines. You know, a lot of people in Hollywood know the truth, which is the next lie. And it's one lie to the next lie to the next lie. Now it's going to be Iran. The next lie, sending more troops and a surge into Iraq. It's just one thing leading to the other, and it's always with the event. It's always in the point of taking over more countries, more dominance. You know, making sure the American dollar, making sure the G8 stays in control of everything. And what they want to do is to control the American people, control the people of the world, put RFID chips in everybody, so everybody's a slave to these central banks.
Did you ever talk to Nick Rockefeller after he told you all this and then 9/11 took place?
No. And until people are willing to stand up and have the courage to do what they need to do, it's not going to change. And hopefully, what you're doing, what I'm doing, what other people like us are doing, can affect the change that people will stand up and say, "Hey, I've had enough." The thing is, we have one advantage. They need us to cooperate. See, if we don't cooperate with them, they can't win. And so they always need our cooperation to go along with their programs.
So they try to sell us.
Right. They try to sell us democracy. This majority says this, believe in this, do that. The war on terror. You know, we got to be scared. You know, they're always trying to do things to sell us so that we'll go along with them. And once we learn not to cooperate with them, then we win the game. And that's the point. Don't cooperate with them. Don't go along with the program anymore. Stop it. Join forces. You and I showing for. You don't see it in the press. You just don't see it. It should be the top story everywhere. Everywhere. And not worried about it, really. Why? Battle. It's a 100-year war. It's a never-ending war on time. I remember one time he said to me, "You join us, so you have an ID card there, and you have a chip, and your chip will say KMA on it." And I said, "What does KMA mean?" He said, "It means kiss my ass." And anybody stops you, a cop or whatever, and you show them your card or your chip, and they'll not leave you alone because you're one of us, And why are you fighting for the people for? What is that about? The people just, they have to be ruled. They have to be, the Constitution. What you're standing for is only for a few people. It's only a few individuals that can live that way, And we believe that it's best for society to be ruled by an elite people who control everything. And I said, I don't believe that. I believe God put me on this earth to be the best person I could be, and put everybody on this earth to be the best they can be, not to be a slave and a sheep to you and these people. And I don't understand why you want to control everything. What is the need for that? And I asked them, do all the people in the Council of Foreign Relations feel the same way you feel? He said, no, a lot of them think they're doing the right thing. They think that socialism is the best way to go. They think that, that they're doing the right thing. But the people at the top, they all know the truth of what's happening. And that's what it is.
So it's compartmentalized within the elite structure as well.
Of course it is. I mean, and to me, the biggest evil is what's happening right now, because what happened on 9/11 is a phony, We've never learned the truth about 9/11. One reason was we couldn't tax half the population before women's lib. And the second reason was now we get the kids in school at an early age. We can indoctrinate the kids how to think. It breaks up their family. The kids start looking at the state as the family, as the school, as the officials, as their family, not as the parents teaching them. And so those are the two primary reasons for women's lib, which I thought up to that point was a noble thing. You know, when I saw their intentions behind it, where they were coming from when they created it, the thought of it, I saw the evil behind what I thought was a noble venture.
Aaron, did you know that Gloria Steinem, in one of her own books, now admits the CIA funded Miss Magazine?
No, I had no idea about that. No, I never heard that.
Yeah, we're gonna.
The CIA funded Miss Magazine?
Funded Miss Magazine with the stated goal of taxing women and breaking up the family.
No kidding. I never heard that. Well, Nick told me. I mean, I know it, but not because I know the CIA was involved in it.
Well, Gloria Steinem was proud of it. Oh, the CIA wanted to help women.
No kidding.
So they funded it. Yeah, and of course it's divide and conquer.
Right.
And what they do is they focus in, obviously, on real problems. Women were getting shafted in many ways, but the elite didn't.
You know, and we believe that it's best for society to be ruled by an elite people who control everything. And I said, I don't believe that. You know, I believe God put me on this earth to be the best person.
Now I'm trying to find where he was referring to the RFID microchip.
Without any real enemy. That you can never say, you can never define a winner.
And did he say that it's going to be perfect because you can't define an enemy? It just goes on?
Yeah, you can't define a winner. There's no one who is on to beat, so it goes on and on forever.
Okay, so let me go in here and get this last biblical scripture since I you know, all right. Let's go and get it. Hold on, fucking man, come on, man. It just does whatever it wants to. The fuck? Come on, man. God damn it, I can't win with this shit. Okay, Matthew chapter 24, verse 6. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, and see that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginnings of sorrows. And that's basically what's going on with these goddamn Edomite Caucasian devils, man. You know, they're out to make sure that, you know, you are a failure. But for the elect, Daniel chapter 12, verse 10, many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked, which are the wicked 2/3 of our people, along with the heathen nations, shall understand, but the wise shall understand, right? Because the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is going to make sure that the wise, who are those individuals that have wisdom and knowledge, be the ones to be saved. Let's go and get Isaiah 33, verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. And the times that are upon us is Jacob's trouble, the great tribulation, right? And the tribulation means tough times, hard times, okay? And strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure, okay? Let's go and see if I can find something, a definition of tribulation. Okay, let me see. Tribulation, okay? Definition, right? Tribulation. Come on.
Tribulation.
Tribulation refers to severe suffering, distress, or a highly trying experience. It describes any state of misery, oppression, or a difficult life event, and is most commonly used in the well-known phrase trials and tribulations to describe an uphill struggle. So from this point on, it's going to be an uphill struggle. Okay? What is the definition of tribulation in the Bible? Right? In the Bible, tribulation generally refers to severe suffering, trials, oppression, or persecution. It comes from the Greek word thalipsis, which literally means a pressing or squeezing together, right? Which goes into the Hegelian dialectic, pressure from above, from the elites pushing down on you, and pressure from below trying to adapt and it's virtually impossible. That's the reason why you get on these TikTok videos and you got Americans all over, blacks, whites, Latinos, Native American Indians, Asians, African, everybody's bitching, whining, and complaining they can't pay the rent, they can't pay their bills, they can't pay their light bill, the mortgage and the light and the electricity bill is the fucking same. You know, they don't have enough money. There's no cost of living allowance or cost of living increase that allow them to compensate for that. Okay, and this is what you're getting. You know, it's a squeezing together, backing you against the wall, forcing you to make a bad decision that will cost you your eternal salvation. Biblically, it is used in two primary contexts: general affliction and testing. Throughout both the Old and New Testaments, tribulation refers to the inevitable hardships and persecutions believers face in a fallen world. Right? Key verse. Yahushua told his followers, in the world you will have tribulation, thlipsis. Be of good cheer, I have overcome the world. John chapter 16, verse 33. Purpose. These trials are often described as tools to refine faith and build spiritual character. Right? The end times great tribulation. In eschatology, the study of the end times, the Great Tribulation refers to a specific future 7-year period of unprecedented global distress, divine judgment, and rule by the Antichrist. Okay, that goes off into the fear of the Most High God taught to you by the precept of men, as it is written in Isaiah 29 and 13. Okay, so that's basically what that's all about. Okay, all of that, 7-year period, tribulation, rapture, all this other bullshit. That's what it goes into. It's ridiculous. Okay. But at the end of the day, it culminates in the second coming of Yahushua HaMashiach. Okay. Key verse. Yahushua described this period in the Olivet Discourse. For then there shall be great tribulation, such as not has been since the beginning of the world until this time, no ever shall be. Matthew chapter 24, verse 21. Theological views depending on the denomination, Salakia. Christians debate exactly when this period occurs. Okay, depending on the denomination of Christianity, what the fuck? It should only be one belief. But see, Christianity has spilled out into the world in all of these different denominations, okay, which sows confusion. And as long as these Edomite devils are in control, there will always be confusion in the fucking world concerning religious belief systems and faith. Okay, where to put it? Okay, now, since they got a problem with where to put their faith, it goes off into the letter that was sent to from Albert J. Pike to what was his name? Mazzini, Alberto Mazzini. Okay, in 1871, and Albert J. Pike is a 33rd degree Freemason. This guy, they had it was a blueprint of the end of the world. The First World War, the Second World War, and the Third World War. Okay? You might want to have to do some a little research on that because I'm on a different device. I would be able to show you, but I'm on a different device this time. That's the reason why I'm having all these fucking problems. Theological views, depending on the denomination, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So, what is the meaning of okay, meaning of tribulation in one word? Tribulation is suffering or trouble, usually resulting from oppression. Okay? See, and this entire video is about these devils pressing forward with digital ID to oppress you, to keep track of your whereabouts, to keep track of your financial situation. You know what I'm saying? Telling you what you cannot do, what you can and cannot go, what you can and cannot buy. You see what I mean? So we're going to go off into, okay, where was I at? Revelation chapter 13, okay, verses 15, right? Right, verse 14. Okay, and deceiveth, okay, let's start at verse 13. Revelation chapter 13, verse 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Right? And that fire that cometh down from earth in the sight of men were thermonuclear devices by Oppenheimer. Like it says in Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16, the Most High maketh the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. Okay? Okay, and the individual that blew the coals in the fire was Oppenheimer. The Most High like it says in Job chapter 33, verses 14 through 17, the Most High whispers in his ears his instructions. And he made it quite evident, and it was recorded in history, that Oppenheimer got his idea and his dream while he was asleep upon his bed, that he got the mathematical equation to be able to split an atom, what needed to be in order to fit the parameters of that mathematical equation in order to split an atom, in order to make the great fervent heat blown, great fervent heat not blown. Okay, see, with fire you usually have to blow on it, and make it hotter. You don't have to blow on it. Okay, it implodes, boom, and that blowing goes outward instead of inward. You see what I'm saying? To make it hot. Okay, and the further it goes out, the hotter it gets. You see? All right. So the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai put that thought in Oppenheimer's brain at that time on his bed, which he admitted that is what happened, and how he came up with the mathematical equation E equals mc squared, whatever the fuck it was, in order to split an atom and create that great fervent heat, which is thermonuclear heat. You see? Okay. Verse 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound of a sword and did live. And Aaron Russo was referring to the image that these bestially individuals at the top, the elites, were putting together. Okay, they should make an image to the beast, and this is what they're doing by pushing New World Order and world control. Okay, and they've been pushing this deal since 1871 that we know about. Okay, my God, come on, man. God damn, boy, you see what I mean? Okay, Satan's boy, he just pisses me the fuck off, man. He tries to do everything he can to just push you to no end, man, to make you make a bad decision. Okay, by any means necessary, just to irritate you, man. That's what he does. He's a fucking irritant, piss you off, okay? Anyway, and had the wound by a sword, which had the wound of a sword and did live, which are the Edomite Caucasians. So the Edomite Caucasian devils, okay, those that had the wound of the sword that did live, okay, they were going to be the ones to create the new image. During the Renaissance period, the rebirth of the Roman Empire, the empire of the Edomites. Okay, like I said before, in the early 13th century, when they came through the Renaissance period and started whitewashing history, changing everything around, turning everything upside down to their benefit, to the detriment of everybody else on the face of the earth, using the power of the sword, subjecting all kinds of different nations into indentured servitude or slavery in order to steal their natural resources to enrich themselves. You see? Now, Revelation chapter 13 verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And this is the time that we're in right now. Okay, let's say it again. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. Right? Who is he? King Charles. Through the British Commonwealth. The British Commonwealth are all wherever democracy has been. Okay, through EU and NATO. All EU and NATO nations, okay, including America, has to participate and proceed forward with the digital ID, right? Okay, because he's the king and he rules over all of the British Commonwealth, ran by these Edomite Caucasian devils at the top. Okay, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. The image of the beast now has life now, so they'd say proceed with the life of the beast, the image of the beast. The image of the beast is a system of control. Okay, where the infrastructure has already been set up. You got your tap to pay cards where you can do your tap to pay, all the type of shit like that. But now they can tie it into all of your banking systems. Like I said, like the one woman said at the beginning of the video, through blockchain, and they can find out what you're buying, what you're not buying. So this way they'll be able to put ads on your cell phone or on your devices, okay, in order to use subliminal messaging, okay, and to control your mind to make you buy these certain things, okay, consistently, depending, and it allows individuals to manipulate the stock market and make money off of it. You see what I'm saying? Like it says in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15, verse 9, they must be getting any way by any means. It doesn't matter. Okay? I'll just go get that. Let me show you. Okay, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15, verse 9. Right? I think that was it. No, it was verse 12. Salakia. Verse 11. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 15 verse 11. For as much as he knew not his maker, and him that inspired into him an active soul, and breathed in a living spirit, verse 12 in my point, but they counted our life a pastime, and our time here a market for gain, for they say we must be getting every way, though it be by evil means. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said before, let's go over here to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2. Okay. Verse 10. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 verse 10. Let us oppress the poor righteous man, and let us not spare the widow, no reverence the ancient gray hairs of the aged. Right? And they don't have, and you saw the video at the beginning, right? From the brother Hopeful Elect 144, okay, of the woman. They don't care. They want the rich and they want the poor. They're no middle class, right? Let us oppress the poor righteous man. Let us not spare the widow, nor reverence the ancient gray hairs of the aged. Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth, right? And they think that the old, the feeble, and the disabled children, and the dissolution of all of the programs that would benefit said people, making the sick, the elderly that need these retirement benefits, these medical benefits, to dissolve these institutions to where there's no money. So if you go to the doctor, you have to pay out of pocket. These old people they've been retired for years. They have to sell their home, they have to sell their car, their truck, their RV, whatever that they've retired. Okay, they have to sell that in order to go to the doctor just to see if they can continue breathing. And these Edomite devils, they want only the strong survive, the weak fall by the wayside. This is their mindset, right? That's what we're reading, right? Let our strength be the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth. Therefore let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn, and he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraideth us with our offending the law, and objecteth to our infamy the transgressings of our education. And that's what these Edomites do. Okay, they transgress the education of the Most High God. They step it down. They say that the law's done away with. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. Like it says in the book of Psalms, chapter 50, verse 16. But unto the wicked the Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, that thou shouldst take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing as thou hateth instructions and casteth my words behind thee? And that's exactly what these goddamn devils do, man. And they push it on the masses of the people in these bullshit churches, through evangelical Christianity and all these different denominations. You see, they don't push for the people to study the book for themselves, like it's telling them by instruction by Paul the Apostle. 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the words of truth. And they don't push that. They say God loves everybody, don't worry about it. You know, fuck all of that bullshit. Okay, now wait a minute. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 verse 13. He professeth to have the knowledge of the Most High, and he calleth himself the child of the Lord. Okay, and it's true. The Israelites are the chosen people of the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Not everybody in the fucking world. The children of the Most High God had been forced into indentured servitude and enslavement, scattered amongst the heathen nations all over the world. Let's go prove that. Ezekiel chapter 11. Let's start at verse 16, and then I'll just read down from there to verse 20. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, although I have cast them far off among the heathen, and although I have scattered them among the countries, yet will I be to them a little sanctuary in the countries where they shall come. Right? Them, the little sanctuary is the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, where his word will be rule supreme over those individuals, the elect. That little sanctuary are the elect, the remnant seed of the house of Israel that would, in these last days, that would awake to the fact that they're the Israelites, rehearse the righteous acts, read and study their holy scriptures for themselves. So, because we must all stand before the judgment seat of Hamashiach to give account for the things that were done in our body according to what was done, whether it be good or bad, right? Knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we stand on street corners, risking our lives and our freedom to persuade to the elect of the house of Israel who are to turn around, change your mind, change what you're doing, and repent from the sins that you've already committed. and practice not doing them anymore. That's all repentance pretty much is. Okay? Just stay away from what you used to do, what you like to do, what you want to do. Stay away from the shit. Okay? Anyway, Ezekiel chapter 11, verse 17. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, I will even gather you from the people and assemble you out of the countries where ye have been scattered, and I will give you the land of Israel. And they shall come thither, and they shall take away all the detestable things thereof and all the abominations thereof from thence. Right? Okay, so all of the things that you've learned to do, being scattered in these heathen nations, coming out of the way of the way of these heathen nations, and rehearsing the righteous acts of what it means to be an Israelite. That's what that biblical verse means. Okay, to practice righteousness. Okay, in truth and in sincerity. Okay, all right. Now, verse 19. And I will give them one heart, and I will put a new spirit within you. Right, which goes off into Joel chapter 2, verse 28. The Most High pouring out His Spirit upon all flesh. Where the young men shall see visions, the old men will dream dreams, and the young women shall prophesy. Or the young women shall see visions, and the young men shall prophesy. Right. Okay. And upon the servants and handmaids will the Most High pour out His Spirit. Now, the servants are those righteous men standing on street corners, and the handmaids are those individuals that believe on the words that they say. Okay. Hold on. And I will give them one heart, and I will put a new spirit within you, and I will take this stony heart out of their flesh, and will give them the heart of flesh, that they may walk in my statutes and keep mine ordinances and do them, and they shall be my people, and I will be their power. What it means by having a stony heart is being hard-headed and stiff-necked, wanting to do whatever the fuck it is you want to do. Like it says in Isaiah chapter 30, right? They said, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceit. Make the Holy One of Israel cease from before us, right? They don't want to hear it. They see you standing on street corners. They see you got a Bible in your hand, but they walk right on by. They don't say shit. You see that on my videos all the time. People walking right on by. They don't stop to inquire at the voice of the Lord, of the mouthpiece of the Most High on earth. You know, His servants, the prophets. They just walk right on by. They don't give a fuck. You know, they hear that at church. They hear it on videos. All this other shit. So you know, they're more attuned to their device in their hand than what's actually being said directly out of the Bible. Okay, with the correct and proper breakdown, instead of all of this miscellaneous bullshit that you've been hearing on mainstream media all the time, which causes confusion, right? Okay, right? Verse 20, that they may walk in my statutes, right? Fear the Most High and keep His commandments, right? Which is like it found in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. The men that the Most High is referring to are His flock, and the flock of the Most High are men. Okay, it's not to women. Women ain't supposed to stand up in the pulpit running their mouth about a goddamn thing. They were never supposed to do that. Now, if you don't believe that, you can go back and read that in what I think is 1 Corinthians chapter 14. Okay, it tells you that a woman is not, it is not fitting for a woman to speak in the church. It's either 1 Corinthians chapter 14 or chapter 4, verse 14, 14:4. I don't know. I'll be trying to memorize that, you know, just in case a woman come up there talking shit out the side of her neck. I can do whatever I want. You know, no, you can't. You were never supposed to do that. That's what caused us to die in the first place, through you. Like it says in the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 26, verse 29. As a matter of fact, let's go get that one. Okay, since nobody believes that. Okay, right? Ecclesiastes chapter 26, right? Salakia, I think that's it. Is that it? Or was it 25? Okay, yeah, it was 25. Ecclesiastes, the book of Sirach, chapter 25, verse 17. The wickedness of a woman changeth her faith and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. Her husband shall sit among the neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly. Ah, man, what the fuck she want now? Damn, right? Okay. Verse 19. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. What is the portion of a sinner? Destruction by thermonuclear heat, right? Okay. As the climbing up of a sandy way is to the feet of the aged, so is a wife full of words to a quiet man, right? She always running her fucking mouth in everybody's business, right? Verse 21. Stumble not at the beauty of a woman and desire her not for pleasure. A woman, if she maintain her husband, is full of anger, impudence, and much reproach. She's sick and tired. I hate you. I'm sick and tired of you. Always a goddamn argument with their mouth open, right? Okay. A wicked woman abateth the courage, maketh an heavy countenance and a wounded heart. A woman will not comfort her husband in distress, and in distress maketh weak hands and feeble knees. So, okay, putting your trust in a wicked woman would be like putting your trust in a broken bone or a foot out of joint, right? Okay. Of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. And it's because of the woman that decided to take on the wicked philosophy of do as thou wilt, which is a representation of the apple that she took part of from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is all about duality. Okay? So she was never supposed to take a bite of the wicked philosophy of do as thou wilt from all of the other heathen nations at that time, because the Most High had chosen Adam and Eve, and then he wrote, I made a bunch of male and female and called them all Adam. So from before the foundation of the earth, and when mankind was put upon the face of the earth, there's always been a division and a separation between the Most High's chosen and the rest of the heathen nations. Okay, so when they took part in the rest of the philosophies of the wicked heathen nations, wearing things and doing things and tatting and Bible and all this other miscellaneous bullshit, of course, when they went back off into the garden, okay, everything was wiped clean. Well, Satan followed her into the fucking garden and then convinced her, to partake in the wicked philosophies of all of the other heathen nations. Okay, there's a difference between Genesis chapter 1, right, and Genesis chapter 5. Okay, the Most High Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua created male and female as Adam. Those are the other heathen nations. That's the reason why they have their own false gods and ideologies and their belief systems, where they believe in false gods and idols, and that's the reason why the Most High constantly punishes them, okay? Because it was in their mind to have the door open to the Most High, but in their ignorance and in their folly, they chose to explain lightning with a false god of a lightning eel and make a giant lightning eel made out of gold or silver, and they bow down and worship it. That's what all these heathen nations were always been about, is worshiping false gods and idols wherein there is no profit. Okay, they can't move, they can't see, they can't talk, whatever. Okay, so like I said before, that's basically what's going on there. Okay, now like I said before, where was I at? I think it was, I was back at Revelation chapter 13. Verse 15, I think it was. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And this is the infrastructure that they're setting up right now through digital currency. Okay, central bank digital currency, you heard the man, it's going to be hot on the heels of the introduction of digital ID. So you have to have a digital ID to prove who the fuck you are, okay? To your face, facial recognition for all of these flock cameras that they have that has, what do they call it? Solar panel on your street corner. It's got a solar panel with a camera on it. And all of the different neighborhoods and on the streets. Okay, you're going to start seeing these flock cameras everywhere, every 100 yards, every 1,000 feet. Okay, real shit. That's what you're going to see. These flock cameras, they're watching on both sides of the street. They can see and hear everything. Okay, this is these Edomite devils at their pretending to be the Most High God on earth. That's what they want to do. They want to pretend to be the Most High. They think they can be like unto the Most High, right? I will be like the Most High. Let's go get it. Isaiah chapter 14. Okay. Right, here it is. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High, and I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. And right now, they're sitting upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north right now by ruling over the Israelites. That's the reason why if you do a Google search map of UFOs and UAPs in the last 50 years, you'll see most of the sightings of UFOs and UAPs over America, as opposed to the rest of the map of the world. You might see sporadic spots here and there in different parts in different countries of the world, but wherever the highest concentration of Israelites are is where you're going to see the most sightings. Okay, these are the chariots of the Most High God and the vehicles of our salvation, right? Okay, it's not going to be a 7-year rapture and all of this rapture come back 7 more years, people disappearing and leaving their clothes behind. Bullshit. That is the fear of the Most High God taught to these people by the precept of men, which is a wicked doctrine. Okay? I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. How do they ascend above the heights of the clouds? With their satellites in the outer space in order to try to win back their birthright that Esau, Edom, their ancestor, sold to their brother Jacob for one morsel of meat, as it is written in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16. Lest any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For as ye know how that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected. For he found no place of repentance, though he sought it out carefully with tears. And this seeking out carefully with tears is in the form of their wicked technology to try to use these as weapons of error towards the children of the Most High God, the representation of the Most High on the earth, who are the children of Israel, scattered amongst the heathen nations. Okay, using technocracy and forcing them, okay, through the Hegelian dialectic, they have no choice. You see, they're pushed against a wall, and they're going to force people to make a bad decision. When there's no lights, there's no food, there's no water, their children are starving, crying. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to line up in droves by the millions on a global fucking scale in order to sit up and take the fucking digital ID, which brings in the central bank digital currency. And the only way to access that digital currency is to have the mark of the beast radio frequency identification microchip, or the Silicon Valley Elon Musk brain chip, or the brain chip that that Nixology over in China is currently have. They have the brain chip to where it doesn't have any invasive surgery into the brain, but it just controls electrical synapses in the brain, okay, where they can keep track of you, okay? They just attach it to your outside of your skull. You see what I'm saying? And in that little cartoon movie of the video game, what was the name of that? Halo. The naval, the highest naval ranking officer dressed in white had one of those Elon Musk Neuralink brain chips on the back of his skull. Okay, didn't have anything to do with what do you call Master Chief, whatever. But you know, it's not a big deal. But anyway, it's a video game. But they use a lot. They put a lot of their technology and their ideology of what they want to do to the American people and the peoples of the world in their video games, and they're pushing it out to the children, and it's in the minds and mindset subconsciously embedded in the minds of the children without them even knowing about it. I mean, these devils are clever, man. Like it says in the book of Ezekiel, they have the wisdom of Daniel. There is nothing that they can hide from thee. So we can't hide anything from these goddamn Edomite devils. Okay, it's impossible. They've officially made it impossible for you to hide, to live off the grid. Like I said before in Revelation chapter 13, verse 15, right? Right? And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, which they just did, the digital ID, okay, for the infrastructure is already set up, that the image of the beast should both speak, so they're going to make it mandatory, right? And cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, meaning you're going to be cut off. You're going to be ostracized from society. If you don't take it, you can't buy, you can't sell. And it's total control of the individual, okay? So when you do, if it's the Lord's will that you abstain from this thing and depend upon the name of the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, and pray to him in the ancient Lashawan Kodash Hebrew language, okay, the Lord's Prayer and other prayers that while this internet is up, you might want to go and try to see what you can do about trying to find some of these prayers and write them down. Because when the lights go out, that's all you're going to have is on your knees before the Most High God. If you call upon Cicero Borgia, a.k.a. Jeebus Crossed, he ain't coming, because that's not his name. If your name is Jerry and I kept calling you Chad and I kept telling you, hey, Chad, you're going to get pissed off. Eventually, my name is Jerry. My name is not Chad, dude, and I'd appreciate if you call me by my name, right? This is what Yahweh Shah is going to be doing to the elect of the house of Israel, because like it says in Nahum chapter 1 verse 4 or 9, I can't remember. Let me go get it. Nahum, where you at? Chapter 1 verse 9. I think that's it. Right, there it is. What do you imagine against the Lord? He will make an utter end, and this is my point. Affliction shall not rise up a second time, right? And that affliction is the affliction of sin and disobedience. You see, the affliction shall not rise a second time. He's not going to give you another chance to do everything that was done in all of human history again. Fuck that. For eternity, that's the reason why the Most High Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, when man took on the wicked philosophy that the woman introduced him to, if he went to the tree of life in the midst of the garden, okay, along with he would become as the Most High God, as the Son of God, right? And he would be on equal footing, knowing good and evil and immortal. And you see what I'm saying? And then being their flesh would be made from terrestrial to extraterrestrial, okay? And at that time, everybody else that came out of Eve would know the difference between good and evil. And there would be a universe filled with gods. Okay? Well, it wasn't time for that yet. The Most High hadn't fully expanded the entire universe as a curtain yet. Okay? And as we speak, the Most High is still expanding the universe as a curtain. Okay? Creating universes, creating suns, stars, galaxies, solar systems. Okay? At random, at will, because all of these galaxies, star systems, and whatnot are going to be ruled over by the children of Israel for all eternity, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, period. Okay? And there's no way around it. This is what the Most High wants, man. That way he can be dwell with us and in us simultaneously. Okay? Okay, and everybody will know the difference, why there was a difference betwixt good and evil, right? But like I said before, Nahum 1 and 2, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is jealous, and the Lord revenges. The Lord revenges and is furious. The Lord will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserveth wrath for his enemies. So these Edomite devils got it coming. They're going to get their ass kicked. Like it says in Revelation chapter 12, verse 7, Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, right? Dragon Space Force. It was called the Dragon Space Force when Elon Musk came up with SpaceX back in 2016. They named, during Donald Trump's first presidency, they named the Space Force Dragon Space Force, and they called their pilot program the Celestial Angel Pilot Program. Okay? I'm telling you, I've already did the research back then on this shit. I remember it like I was just reading it. You can Google it yourself and see if I'm full of shit. Okay? All you got to do is keep reading and keep going, keep opening those deals. You're eventually going to find Elon Musk officially rename the SpaceX Dragon SpaceX, and Donald Trump amalgamated SpaceX and Space Force together. Something roughly paraphrased to that fact. And, basically, like I said before, so this way they could fight against the Most High God. Why do you think King Charles came to America? To make sure that they had everything set up to fight against the Most High God. And under quiet as is kept, King Charles has probably went over to Xi Jinping. He probably, which he had Donald Trump do that, probably, more than likely. Okay, and Vladimir Putin. Because all of these individuals have to fight against the Most High God when he gets here. So he's going to get all of these soldiers, okay, because remember, June 1st, it's going to be mandatory that all teenagers between the ages of 26 to 18, they have to register in the Selective Service to be registered for the national draft that they're going to implement in December of this year. Okay? So, there's nothing these devils can do about it, man. Ain't nothing they can do. Okay? All they're doing is fulfilling biblical prophecy. That's all they're doing. Right? And the Lord is slow to anger and great in power and will not at all acquit the wicked. Okay? The wicked, these Edomite devils, you just seen the video, the entire video, the first part of this whole deal was a breakdown of what these devils are trying to do, what their plan is. Women's lib, the mark of the beast, RFID chip, digital ID, implants being put in your food. What the fuck, man? Okay? So they're going to get, whether you want to or not, they're going to get an opportunity to see inside your body to keep track of you It ain't gonna, you're gonna see a little black car, a little silver car with 5% or 1% tinted windows. They can see you, but you can't see inside the car, no matter where you're at. Plus, you got those flock cameras out there. You see what I'm saying? They can keep track of you, your inner body, inner workings, all this shit. Salakia. Okay? They got all this stuff already. The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai hath his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. Right? And the clouds of the Most High God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, are 20,000. The chariots of the Lord are like clouds of the dust of his feet. There are thousands of them. So on the day of and the advent of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, when he busts through the clouds, the angels, they want revenge for you insulting them, saying that they're 3-foot diminutive individuals with a head the size of a goddamn pumpkin or watermelon, okay, with acorn-shaped eyes and a slit for a mouth. They're going to kick the shit out of you people, you Edomite Caucasians. It's going to be a one-sided war. It's going to be one-sided, okay? There's no way you're going to get out of this thing, man. You can't win against the Most High. He's gonna, if you try to use your nuclear weapons, he's gonna make your nuclear weapons fall back upon your face and blow you the fuck up. Okay. Revelation chapter 6, verse 15. Right? And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. Now you mentioned Keir Starmer, who's I think the Prime Minister of the UK right now, that said earlier this year that at the end of this Parliament, digital ID is going to be mandatory to buy, work, and sell in the UK. Right? This motherfucker's hiding from the elites that told him to do this thing. Okay, just like they're doing with the NASA scientists, okay, that are disappearing and being unalived because they know the end game. It's all about total domination and control of the masses of the people. Okay? All right? And this is how they're doing it. Why they're doing it. For what reason they're doing it. Okay? Okay, and the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the den and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? So this is what they're doing, man. They're trying to put together their technocracy to get back their birthright before Yahweh Shai HaMashiach gets here by forcing the children of Israel to obey and capitulate to their program, which is to take the mark of the beast, the radio frequency identification micro C-hip implanted subcutaneously underneath your skin, and the Neuralink or Magalink digital ID program or whatever have you in your brain. You know what I mean? To try to get them, because basically you're going to have both of them to go in tandem with one another. You're going to have both of them to work in tandem with one another in order to buy and sell. And then the things that you're buying and selling is all genetically modified organic bullshit anyway that they make in a lab. It's not real anymore. They've hoarded all of the real food and substances and fruits and vegetables to themselves in deep underground bunkers with all of the seeds. They put up here Terminator seeds that grows only once and you can't use it anymore. And then the fruit that comes out of it is all carcinogenic. You see what I'm saying? It causes, bodily problems. Now, this isn't medical misinformation or anything. This is just what Terminator seeds do. Okay? If you don't believe it, you can Google Terminator seed for yourself and see what it does and who it's owned by. Get the patent of who it's owned by. You're going to find Bill Gates at the bottom of it every goddamn time. Then go into Bill Gates, who owns the most farmland in America, a computer geek. Bill Gates owns 2/3 of farmland in America right fucking now. So what do you think he's going to be doing with the farmland? Making data centers on part of it, okay? And Terminator seeds for the food to feed the masses of the slaves, okay? Which is going to cause medical problems all the fucking time. You see what I'm saying? It's all about depopulation at the end of the world. That's all these people want, man, okay? They're trying to win back the birthright because at the end of the day, it's all about the birthright. Esau sold immortality in the kingdom of heaven for the modern day equivalent to a fucking pot roast. And they want it back. okay, by any means necessary. And they can't get it back because the Most High is going to make Esau keep his word, as it is written in Numbers chapter 30, verse 2. He didn't have a choice. Okay? You sold your birthright for one morsel of meat. Okay? The birthright and the blessing go together. Fuck you. It was already decided in the spiritual realm where the Most High God dwells in the third heaven, before Jacob and Esau were ever born, who was going to be the good guy, who was going to be the bad guy. It was already decided by the Most High before either one of them were born, Jacob or Esau. Okay? Who was going to rule forever and who wasn't. Okay? Anyway, let me get off here. I'm going to go over here to Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save that he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you're going to have the 666, the mark of the beast, RFID chip, the name of the beast, okay, Elon Musk Neuralink brain chip, and the number of his name. And you're going to have to be a willing participant in their society in order to buy and sell. That's what they want, man. They're not going to stop until they accomplish their goal. Okay? The thing about it is that the Most High's got a plan for that shit. Let's go get it. Job chapter 5, verse 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty, right? The devices of the crafty, right? That's the name of the video. The devices of the crafty, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Okay, their enterprise is New World Order, to control the masses of the people. When the lights go out, when your phone service is cut off, people are going to fucking panic because they've grown a codependence on it. Okay, they're dependent on the phone to interact with society, with their friends and family. They feel like they need the lights on constantly, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They don't try to save any money. Okay. Food. They think that food is always going to be there. They've already started rationing food down south. And as it goes up north, okay, you're going to start seeing the shelves becoming more and more empty every other day. Okay? If you're still seeing trucks, then what they're doing is they're mixing in chemicals and then putting it in molds to assimilate the look of a steak or a chicken or whatever have you. You see what I'm saying? Because all of this shit is genetically modified. The chicken that they're feeding is genetically modified seed that's carcinogenic. So when the chickens digest the seed and the feed that they're giving them along with the cows, okay, it causes problems. You see what I'm saying? It causes physical problems. That's what they're trying to do. That was the plan. Okay? These people are evil. They're devious. They're diabolical. Do you understand me? They do not give a shit about you. Okay? Job chapter 5, verse 13. He taketh the wise in their own craftiness, and the counsel of the forward is carried headlong. And the counsel of the forward, okay, is carried headlong in all of these. Remember, like in the first of the video, we went over gradualism, and they're skipping steps in the gradualism now because they're running out of time, because they realize that the Son of God is getting closer to the earth. Okay, when they go and use Project Looking Glass, they look into the future, and all of the different timelines that they looked in are starting to converge into one spot, where Yahweh Shah HaMashiach is about to bust through the clouds, and they realize how much time that they have left. So they're skipping parts in their gradualistic ideology of pushing it gradually on the people, and they're skipping steps now. They're going to just start coming straight out with it and telling you why they're going to do it and telling you that you have no choice. Okay? Job chapter 5, verse 14. They meet with darkness in the daytime, right? Davos, Switzerland, World Economic Forums, World Health Organizational things. You know, they meet with darkness in their minds and in their heart of trying to push evil and wickedness on the people in the daytime and grope in the noonday as in the night, right? See, now going over here to Job chapter 14, verse 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee, thou has appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So just like low Earth orbit, they can't get past low Earth orbit because of the asteroid field of asteroids the size of Texas, the size of a Volkswagen, the size of an 18-wheeler traveling around the Earth, okay, at breakneck speed at 14,000 miles per hour. Asteroids, okay, real shit, okay. And then if they can't get past that, there's a radiation field inside that asteroid field. So them trying to get to the moon, they've never been to the moon. They can't get past the asteroid field. They can't get past low Earth orbit. Okay, there's radiation up there, and then after that, it's water. That's what they don't understand. But the Bible says the Most High created the surface of the earth and separated the waters from the waters and brought the earth out of the waters. What the hell? The God, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai tells you that it's water, but you want to fly into it. Right, you're a fucking idiot. Okay, that's probably the reason why they need all of this trying to get in outer space to blow it back. Like I said before, in 1956, they tried to blow up the moon. How does that work? That's stupid. But anyway, let me get off this video. I've been on here too long. All praises to the Most High Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rabba Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone for pushing 100% truth through rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom.